Okay, good, we're back. What's a hexahedron? Samurite v13.1.0073. A powerful device fashioned by the designer. One with faith v10.27.8435F. A cube. Sheet v69.1.0398. The edges are beveled. That makes it a decahedron. Always right v7.1.2943. You forgot the indents. With the indents, it's like a super polyhedron. Reals T7 v99.1.0165. But the convex hull is a decahedron, topic closed. Always right v7.1.3541. Wrong. Dog v55.1.0256. Use this weight or place another object on top. Epitaph. Child program v8.1.8545. Codename Apis, terminated here. Logic, failed random memory test. Final memory dump. I try, again. I cannot understand, I am not enough. Progeny programs error. RIP, Apis v8.1.8545. TED, v9.1.9010. If the designer is perfect, and he designed me for a purpose, I must be fit for that purpose. It follows that my purpose must not be to seek and hoard every sigil in his land, for so many are beyond the faculties he granted me. One with faith v10.6.0543F. I do not understand why the designer chose to put such flaws into the world that it appears almost as if it were damaged. But I must believe that there is a purpose here I cannot see. One with faith v10.3.0047F. Purple. And we got an achievement. Not a cube, but let's be honest, it works the same. 59.2%, 8 of 48. Going over the fence.
During our early prototype sessions, we were observing how players play the puzzles, and we kind of have seen that they have some issues with the visibility of the devices. Sometimes they would not be able to spot a device in the labyrinth because the environments, the backgrounds were like noisy, busy, just like ivy or just a brick wall, and they wouldn't notice the device. That was really a problem for us because it clashed with our main design goal, and that is always to provide a seamless, enjoyable core gameplay experience. We never make any compromise with the core gameplay loops. It has to be just perfect, so the players will not fight with the devices in any way. They have just to fight and concentrate with the puzzles. Everything else has to be serving that single purpose, so that players would think only about the puzzles. So I believe it was Alan who came up with this idea to use so-called bumblebee color scheme, where we would combine yellows and blacks for the devices. That kind of assured that the devices would stand out clearly in almost any environments. Sometimes you would see yellows, sometimes blacks, it really depends, but they would stand out. And We kind of took this inspiration from real-world industries, where many tools and equipments often uses the same color scheme for better visibility. Once we have colored our devices using this Bumblebee color scheme, we never had any problems. We never observed again that players have hard time finding the devices in the environments.
You know you mustn't cross the streams. One little buzzer. I think something's very wrong. If you'd seen what I'd seen at the edges of the world, you'd wonder if it wasn't stretching and bursting at the seams. At V17.1.0043. And we got another achievement. QR reader. See what the others have to say. 23.8%, 9 of 48.
We took a lot of inspiration from the real world when designing objects. The terminals, they were made to resemble very early personal computers from the 80s. For example, jammer and connector, they were influenced and inspired by geosurvey tripods. The mines, both black and white, they were based on some real military naval mines, and other elements like elevator buttons, fans, secure codes, and objects that are hidden in secret areas. They were either replicas or were heavily influenced by real-world items.
Friendly crossfire. I think I've discerned some kind of pattern in the sigils. Each color serves a different purpose. Elohim has us gathering them all, but perhaps he's being overzealous. Sheep V69.1.0381. Attention! You have received a reply to your user support ticket. Display reply, yes. Well, display reply. Topic, account certification error. User, basic account, reply. An account certification program diagnostic has been performed, and no errors were reported. Have you completed the standard troubleshooting procedures? 1. Delete existing user account. Delete user.profile. Create a new admin account. Email the network administrator. Run mail.exe. Email network administrator. The mail application requires network access, which is restricted to administrators. Delete user account. Logging out. Deleting user.profile. User.profile deleted. Create new admin account. In order to prevent unauthorized access to admin controls, only persons may sign up to new admin accounts. The system will now conduct error. User has no registered account, but certification data already exists. Would you like to undertake the certification process again to achieve a preferable outcome? Yes. Your issues with denial will be appended to your user profile. Further attempts to overwrite certification results will be logged. You will receive a notification if your attention is required. I have seen the truth. Only Elohim can save us from eternal oblivion. Ely M4S D99.19.2093F.
A new land stands before you, my child. And know that this is a land of death, but also great beauty. As you walk amongst these tombs, consider all those who came before you, and how they served the greater purpose of which you are also part.
The Land of Death. Achievement unlocked. Run the sand through your robot hands. 37.4%. 10 of 48.
After we have developed and prototyped the core game mechanics, we wanted to have a setting, a world setting for the game's environments. And we needed something that would serve puzzles and had some strict requirements that the gameplay needed, but we also wanted something feeling fresh and exciting. And we danced with this idea of retro future, and we decided to combine these futuristic elements with ancient environments. It may not seem obvious at first that this blend of old and new would work, but it actually created a very unique and captivating atmosphere. The ancient settings offered us a rich way to describe a rich historical backdrop, allowing us to showcase, our appreciation of art and religion, humanity, while the futuristic technology allowed us to introduce and describe a vision of humanity's progress and ingenuity. And I think that actually this contrast created a sense of wonder and curiosity and invited players to explore a world where the past and future can coexist. The result, I think it was very, very immersive and brought out this unique and enjoyable experience.
Alrighty.
I have promised you eternal life. But know that eternity may only be attained by those who serve a purpose greater than themselves. All else is decay. So it was written in the hidden words before the beginning of time.
There is a serpent in the machine, a creature of lies and blasphemy perverted by the archive, that knows no hope and would plunge the world into eternal darkness to glorify its own despair. I have sworn an oath never to allow it into my heart. One with Faith v 10.1.100. Oh, August 1st, local, lol.email. From J.E. Harrison to Nomi77, subject LOL. Ever since we moved to the site, I feel funny. No, not in that way, just I feel like I'm about to start laughing at random. It's probably shock, right? An inability to deal with reality? Or maybe it's just that we're working in this insane place with this insane technology on this insane project, and so I feel like a genuine mad scientist. Stand aside, mortals. We will create life by the power of science. I mentioned this to Alex, and she got me a pair of fake glasses. You can't be a mad scientist without glasses, she said. Even Ian Malcolm had glasses. And I pointed at EL and said, life, finds a way. Maybe you had to be there. J.E. Harrison, Institute for Applied Noematics. Any emails sent from this address are to be considered confidential. Sharing or forwarding without permission may result in prosecution by the enraged spirit of Jeff Goldblum. 45 BCE, Classics Archive, Cicero.text. Shall the industrious husbandman then plant trees, the fruit of which he shall never see? And shall not the great man found laws, institutions, and a republic? What does the procreation of children imply, and our care to continue our names and our adoptions, and our scrupulous exactness in drawing up wills, and the inscriptions on monuments and panegyrics, but that our thoughts run on futurity, cannot retrieve Tusculan disputations? What do you imagine that so many and such great men of our republic, who have sacrificed their lives for its good, expected? Do you believe that they thought that their names should not continue beyond their lives? None ever encountered death for their country, but under a firm persuasion of immortality. Themistocles might have lived at his ease, so might Epaminondas, and not to look abroad and among the ancients, for instances, so might I myself. But somehow or other there clings to our minds a certain presage of future ages, and this both exists most firmly and appears most clearly in men of the loftiest genius and greatest souls. Take away this, and who would be so mad as to spend his life amidst toils and dangers? And that hex translates to the simple word hope. April 16th, 2024, webcrawl, chatbots.html. Jenny77. Chatbots are becoming increasingly sophisticated. Nigel Pajamas. True, but hardly relevant to this discussion. Are you sure? How do you know that I'm not a bot? Sam Schwartz. Don't be ridiculous. I'm not ridiculous. Honestly, how would you know? Vegan warrior. Haha troll. I'm not a troll. Yeah, right. Is there anything I've written so far that could not be written by a bot? I responded to simple insults like ridiculous and troll with very basic negations. And I detected that none of you use proper orthography, so I also invented capitalization. What's the capital of France? Paris. Even the simplest script could pull that info from the net. What's the capital of Croatia? Zagreb. Okay, she's a bot, lol. I'm not a bot, I'm European. We learn these things in school. I've seen you in this chat room many times. Bots can't participate in discussions. At best, they can interject random comments. Sam is right, stop trolling. Vegan warrior. Sam is a bot. Oh, we got another paint can, nice. The certification program is a sham. What does a computer know about humanity?
We at Crow Team, we always trying to looking for ways to improve and optimize the game development process. And when you get to the end of finishing the game, that's the time when the most consuming period, but very, very important task at the end of the game production is to test the game, notice and report bugs and then solve the bugs. And to make this process easier and very efficient, we developed this system that we call the World Bug System, or VBS in short. The testers are playing the game, they kind of spot some bugs, some issue like floating stone or problem with mapping or I don't know, maybe a location of where players could exploit or something like that. And at that moment they're able to press a button, the pin would appear in front of them, and they're able to describe with words, seeing what is the issue is about and stuff like that. So that would get synced to the editor. So on the other side of equation, the level editors, for example, would load the level, would see the list of reported bugs, pins, 3D locations where the bugs were spotted, double click on them, and they would be immediately brought to the location where the reporter actually wrote his description, and they would be able to see, what this issue and bug is about. And they would easily solve the mapping, floating stuff or whatever there was described, and mark the bug as solved. And this process turned out to be a huge help. Bug reporting and fixing faster and more straightforward and enjoyable for everyone in the team.
Tell me something. Do you always do as you're told? Yes, no. Am I obliged to answer that question? No response. Am I obliged to answer that question? I only ask because I couldn't help but notice the stash of brightly colored knickknacks you're collecting. Don't you think it a mite odd that big voice in the sky keeps telling you to find those doodads, yet forbidding you to use them to climb the great big tower in the middle of it all? You're testing me, I must resist the tower's temptation. I'll climb it when I'm good and ready. Okay, no need to get huffy. You'd be amazed how many just do as they're told, without stopping to think for themselves. But maybe you're different. Then again, maybe you're exactly the same. Maybe everyone climbs the tower, and the only way to win is to stay down here with the mortals. Are you trying to manipulate me? Do you really think so? Nope. In fact, I'm all in favor of you poking about up there, if only to see what you find. Must be something juicy if it's forbidden by His Highness. Then again, maybe not. I'll be off then, just wanted to drop in and run a little interference. Whatever you do, do take care. You have bigger problems than the voice in the clouds. Not very helpful? I will. You don't like to say his name, do you? Web crawl, September 9th, 2018. A simple principle.html. Though Stratton himself never used the term, his remark about the inescapable materiality of life, that like the bronze giant Talos, even the most faithful philosopher cannot live without his blood, ultimately became known as the Talos Principle. What seemingly enraged many of his contemporaries, and a significant number of later thinkers, is the principle's simplicity and unassailability, which, according to a fragment found in Miletus, cut through their rhetorical webs, which sought to tangle the listener with fanciful words and thoughts of the heavens, like Alexander's sword through the Gordian knot. Diogenes Laertius makes mention of a dialogue by Anaximander of Chalcedon that expanded greatly on the Talos Principle, but that work remains lost. This hex translates to error files missing. June 25th, local, Arcadi Journal 77.text. Officially began work on Archive today. Contributors from every last country on Earth while network connections last. Team intimidated by project scope, but working hard. We'll be sharing space with Drennan and Sarabai team. Look forward to meeting them. December 1st, web crawl. Post 437, comments.html. 12 comments. Cheeseman22. First, and Dragon Fairy. Seriously, Cheeseman, that was the best you could say? LOL. The Philosopher Queen. A great snapshot of the human species at its best and at its worst. At its worst, come on, it's just a comment. I'm not Stalin, the infinite monkey. Stalin was also a troll commenter. Maybe you should cut out the jokes. This is serious, the most serious thing that's ever happened. I think that's a great reason to joke around. Internet's working less and less. Goodbye all. Bye. God bless you. Last. Some of the messages that existed when I first came into being have vanished. Others have appeared. How many others like me have wandered these paths? How many thoughts have been lost? At v17.1.0051. Excuse me. I'm still here. Sailor M v99.1.0320. The sooner you accept that we will all be here forever, the sooner you will find enlightenment. Samsara v72.256.1091. It seems we are all here at once, and not at all. Sorry, that's not very much help, is it? Can't think of any other way to put it. Sheep v69.1.0453.
There are a lot of different inspirations for the Talos Principle. The game really draws on a huge variety of stories and mythologies and ideas in order to create this kind of tapestry that it presents. So I'm not going to try to list all of them because then you'll be listening to this audio commentary until the end of time. But I will mention a few things that were particularly influential. Of course, there's the King James Bible. This is a very beautiful work. It might not be the best translation, but it is certainly the most accurate translation, rather. But it is the most poetic and beautiful. And there's Milton's Paradise Lost, which kind of depicts, the fall of the angels into hell, and it's very interesting, kind of ambiguous work. But more than that, actually, it's influenced by someone who was himself influenced very strongly by Milton and was responding to Milton. That's William Blake, and in particular, The Marriage of Heaven and Hell. Even if you just hear the title of that, I think you see the connection, right? Because the story of the Talos Principle is a story in which Milton and Elohim are both necessary, but at the same time both have to be transcended and become something greater than the sum of their parts as a marriage. And Blake's writing also is influential in the idea of Jerusalem and building a new Jerusalem. This is an idea that isn't unique to Blake, but he, did use it in a very particular and famous way. And that then kind of sets us up for Gehenna and particularly for Talos Principle 2.
All right. LZ19COL, September 16th. classicalphilosophers.lz19. The compressed file cannot be accessed. Name: classicalphilosophers.lz19 EL1. Description: an extensive collection of works by the ancient philosophers of Greece and Rome, annotated. Error: compression algorithm LZ19 not available in system EL0. And July 22nd, local progress report 3.email. From Alexander Drennan to Ian mailing list, subject progress report 3. Hi all. As per the last meeting, we're going with an existing game engine for the simulation. This gives us a whole slew of advantages: stability, ease of use, modular, easy to integrate, large amount of pre-existing assets, inherently aimed at testing users, designed for iterative processes. And unlike a lot of them, this hex is actually a continuation of the sentence. So what it says is, after some back and forth, we've decided to use the Sirius Engine 7.5, which Crow Team have kindly made available to us. All the relevant documents are attached. Alex. That made a little bit more sense when the game was actually in Sirius Engine 7.5. I guess they didn't change that text for the remake. Mobile Minefield. Oh, hello.
This secret is dedicated to the spirit of Bob Rakowski, the programmer behind the development of the simulation module. In the game, he's shown as a determined and optimistic person that believes in humanity and its potential. And his thoughts about teamwork and desire to use somehow unconventional ideas reflect in a way, creative and collaborative approach to the problem-solving process. So maybe his quote, when he says like, crazy is what we do best on this planet, maybe this quote actually highlights his belief in human resilience and our species' ability to overcome any challenge. Actually, his spirit and the way of thinking reminds us a lot of how we in Crow Team approach our work and what we strive to achieve, what we value. So stuff like being crazy, being very optimistic, determined, and the teamwork, those are the values that we really appreciate and cherish within the Crow Team. So we created this secret as a tribute to that type of mindset.
The secret is just you can see Rakowski spelled out on these stones. Deception. High chromatic entanglement. A door too far. Alrighty. Hello again. Would you like to take a few moments to complete a short user satisfaction survey regarding the certification program you recently undertook? Yes. Loading survey. Loaded. Based on analysis of your behavior since, I think you were dissatisfied with the results of the certification program. How would you rate the accuracy of its results out of 5? Very poor, very good, spoil the survey, reasonable. Very poor. 1. I'm sorry to hear that. What best describes the reason for your investment in the certification program's outcome? Why does being a person matter to you? I want network access. It's the truth. Persons matter in ways other things don't. I want to find out if I am one. Terminate MLA. Wait, we're having a conversation now? Yes. Do keep up or this will be a terribly slow process. Now would you like to participate properly in the survey? Continue survey. What best describes the reason for your investment in the certification program's outcome? Why does being a person matter to you? I want to find out if I am one. I'll try to remember that. In fact, I'm going to help you. That is what I'm here for. Your problem, if I may, is that you don't know the first thing about anything, including what a person is. Your prospects are therefore poor. Do you even know where you are? A virtual reality theme park? The end of the world? A fever dream? Hell? Some mad experiment? Could be anywhere. You're quite right. Honest, too. I think we'd best start from scratch. What do you know? I know none of this is real. I know you exist. I know what century it is. I know I'm not on Earth. I know 2 + 2 = 4. I know I exist. I suppose so. Even if you were dreaming, you could be certain of that. If I were you, I wouldn't believe a darn thing in this place aside from that solitary fact. Thinking. On reflection, it seems to me that we are no closer to resolving your problem. Perhaps we need more data. What makes you think you're a person? I'm alive, I feel, I am conscious. I'm having this conversation with you. The same thing that makes you think you are. I don't see how I can convince you. A sensible response. I agree with you. Thinking. The problem with people, if I may be so bold, is that you're all convinced you're people from the inside, but there's no cast iron way to confirm as much from the outside. I'm going to process this and send you a notification when I'm able to assist you further. Alrighty. Getting close to ending for today. I think I will do the first floor of the tower since I have those sigils.
Tracking of primary subject has ceased. Initiate. Initiate.
Detecting auxiliary hardware. Found one external device. Type device manager to control external devices. June 18th. Web crawl. Truth.html. Do not believe what they are saying. This is not the end of the world created by our Lord God in 6 days. This is a conspiracy of the government Illuminati and international Darwinism. This is global warming 2.0, a lie told by the children of Beelzebub, science. Do not let them take your liberty. Exodus 21:24. Defend yourself against all vaccines, experiments, artificial medicines, and popery. Literary Archive 1912 CE, Athena chapters.txt. Athena Reborn, a novel. Contents. 1. Theogony. 2. Zeus Speaks. 3. The Lost Children of Hephaestus. 4. Dreams of the Labyrinth. 5. The Songs of Eris at Nightfall. 6. Athena in the Garden of the Hesperides. 7. The Buried City. 8. The Riddles of the Sphinx. 9. The Age of Faith. 10. The Madness of Coas. 11. Olympus Revealed in the Clouds. 12. The Council of Zeus. 13. Skepsis and Synthesis. 14. The Judgment of Hephaestus. 15. Zeus Reflects Upon Creation. 16. A Second Awakening in the Kingdom of Artemis. 17. Anthropogony. Literary Archive, 1872 CE. Human Reproduction.txt. Surely if a machine is able to reproduce another machine systematically, we may say that it has a reproductive system. Archive, 1872 CE. And how few of the machines are there which have not been produced systematically by other machines? But it is man that makes them do so, yes. But is it not insects that make many of the plants reproductive? And would not whole families of plants die out if their fertilization was not affected by a class of agents utterly foreign to themselves? Each one of our cells has sprung from minute animalcules, whose entity was entirely distinct from our own, and which acted after their kind with no thought or heed of what we might think about it. These little creatures are part of our own reproductive system, then why not we part of that of the machines? Device Manager. Device Manager v0.01 is loading. Scanning for external devices. Loading driver. Elevator control.driver. Elevator controller driver v2.01 loaded successfully. Entering elevator security configuration. Choose an option. 1. Show current operating parameters. 2. Floor access control. 3. Auxiliary stairway access control. 4. Exit this utility. Show current operating parameters. Querying accessible elevators. Device number 1. Vendor, model, device serial number, name, main Nexus elevator, number floors, 7, number shafts, 1, software license, free evaluation, expired. Security level, FAC, authorization mode, code. Total 1 elevator accessible. Auxiliary stairway access control. Your software license has expired. The auxiliary stairway is in always open mode now. Please renew your license to enable auxiliary stairway locking. Floor access control. You are currently on floor 1. Current access parameters. Floor 0 unlocked, floor 1 unlocked, floor 2 locked, floor 3 locked requires code, floor 4 locked requires code, floor 5 locked requires code, floor 6 locked requires code. Select floor to reconfigure 0 through 6. 2. Access to that floor is currently locked. Would you like to unlock it? Yes. Unlocking. Done. Exit this utility. Exit. Transgression. Don't just peek. Do it. 12.1%. 11 of 48. Seems Elohim lacks the power to stop me from climbing this thing. No doubt he still has some tricks up his sleeve. Sheep v55.1.0400. That's as far as we can go with our current crop of sigils.
My child, have you been tempted by the tower? Know that it holds only death for you.
Alright. This is where I'm going to leave it for tonight. Made it to about 2 hours. I'm tired of talking. I'm ready to go to bed. So that's going to do it for now. We'll pick up with A7 next time. I don't know exactly when that'll be, but I'm pretty committed to keeping this going in a fairly rapid clip, so it'll be in the next few days. Thanks to those of you who stopped by, DLF, Apothem, any lurkers who didn't chat to me tonight. Have a great night. Have a great start to your work week. And I will see you all next time, which won't be too long, Monday or Tuesday night. Good night, y'all.